So I love this quote. There's a very famous educationalist in the UK called Dylan Wiliam, and he works assessment is one of the key things that he has worked on, research and classroom practice and so on. And I think this quote is absolutely spot on. Every teacher needs to improve, not because they're not good enough, but because they can be even better. And I think that's a message that somehow sometimes gets lost in teaching, and saying that you would like to have teacher professional development can seem as a sign that you maybe think that you're not very good at something, or that you're not strong in a particular area. But actually, what you're saying by wanting to and wishing to engage in teacher professional development is that you think you're pretty good, hopefully, but you can be even better. And that's the message we're trying to get across with what we're talking about today. I can see in the Zoom, we've got some teachers saying, hi, Shibangi, hello, German language teacher, but interested in working in leadership, fantastic. And Humaira from Bangladesh, hi, graduate, a UN volunteer, working as an English teacher, great. I love the diversity of our community joining us today. It's really terrific to hear, so thank you very much. So why should leadership prioritise TPD? Everything that we do within CET is based in evidence. So research, evidence, our own experience. Half of the CET team are teachers themselves, so we know what it's like in the classroom. So everything we do and that we present to you, our community, comes from a place of actual evidence, not just because we think it sounds like a good idea. So the evidence suggests, just in this one piece of research here, that RTI International discovered that not only does TPD, so teacher professional development, which I will refer to as TPD during this, this workshop, not only does TPD lead to both higher literacy and numeracy levels, it also results in fewer teachers leaving the profession, increased assessment figures, so in other words, improved learning outcomes for our learners, and higher staff morale. So all of those things are incredibly important when it comes to ensuring that teachers are teaching well, but also that they stay in the profession, that they feel valued, because low morale is one of the highest reasons that teachers actually leave the profession. So we definitely need to have that as a focus. I'd love some contributions from our attendees at the moment. So if you're able to write in the chat, if you're a school leader, do please tell us what TPD is offered to your teachers. That is would be fantastically interesting. So what are the ways that TPD is currently accessed? So TPD focuses on active learning opportunities for education staff. Those can be achieved through both formal and informal settings. In other words, where the school or the local education district, etc., actually focuses on them in an official capacity, or informal settings where it might be teachers discussing their practice or accessing content altogether. So formal TPD might come under the umbrella of courses, workshops, retreats, seminars, so maybe residential workshops and so on, or day courses, but where you go and they are provided officially by an organisation or by your school perhaps. And then informal, which is, I wonder if possibly where the real learning can take place, in discussions, for me anyway. I think discussing your practice with your peers is one of the most beneficial ways we can improve. But of course now it's possible to access TPD ideas and so on through social media, or through visiting extracurricular destinations such as museums, etc. Which of those have you engaged in and why? Can anybody share with us? I'm having a look in both the chats. I hope you can't see the pinging between the screens that I'm doing. But has anybody got any ideas that they would like to share with us? Which of these you've engaged in? Have you been to workshops or courses? Have you how often do you discuss things with your peers? Shibangi, hi. According to you, TPD plays an important role between peers to share their development. Absolutely. Just discussing, saying to a peer, somebody you work with, have you tried this out? What do you think about this, etc.? And getting their input on your ideas is incredibly important. Okay. And you've done the Teach2030 coach course. Fantastic. That promotes very heavily the importance of working with peers and lead learning partners. This is great, because if you're aspiring to work in leadership, you're getting some good ground skills and knowledge here. So the advantage, obviously, of digital TPD is that it can be accessed on a range of devices at a time and place that suits the teacher. Oh, it's doing this thing of pinging. Right, now one of our, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, so I'm just going to ask you to unmute. Oyegoga, would that be how you say your name? You've raised your hand and would like to participate. That would be lovely, thank you. Please tell me how to pronounce your name correctly, first of all, and I apologize for my poor pronunciation.
No worries. Good day to you.
Hello.
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, you are very audible. Yep.
My name is Onu Oyegoga John, and I'm a high school teacher and leader at my school here in Nigeria. Please pardon me for not owning the video.
No, that's fine. Tell us what you'd like to share with us.
Yes. As a way of reference, my school here, there is no formalized method for TPD or ground at the moment. Mm-hmm. So TPD is actually done on a personal level, and the school TPD is only given by chance, maybe when the education authorities have openings for professional development for teachers. They send circulars, and we nominate persons to attend. But at my own level as a leader, because I lead the science department, and I happen to be an ICT coach. So I sometimes organize training for my colleagues, which has referred, in terms of how they go about their classroom management and the kind of course content they deliver. That is done once in a while. But currently we are we've set up some committees so that we'll be able to design a kind of structure whereby there's a formalized and regular teacher professional development sessions, just like you are showing in the screen now. Can be done formally or informally. So actually, that was the reason why I opted for this platform, this teacher platform, so that I could get some ideas that could help us in the planning and the implementation of the structure we are working on.
Absolutely. So you're saying that in your environment, TPD is not always available as much as you'd like or organized as often as is desirable, but because it's digital TPD, you are able to access it more regularly, and that's why you've opted to participate with Teach2030 courses.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, you're absolutely the kind of teacher that we are hoping to be able to support. So teachers maybe who don't have the access that they would like to teacher professional development, and you've just highlighted for us there some of the challenges there are in accessing it. Gus, thank you so much for your contribution today. Gus, I see you say that you attend digital webinars and discuss with your colleagues as well. So thank you, fantastic. So you are finding opportunities to discuss your practice with your peers, which is an incredibly important way to learn. And it's also important to stress that the leadership in your schools, or if you are leadership yourself, we should promote the opportunities for our teachers to discuss their practice with each other. This should be seen as a sign of good practice, not something that's optional, but something that is a part of their daily classroom practice, that they know that it's fine to discuss that. It's desirable to discuss something with a colleague, what went well, what didn't, have they got some ideas about what you could do here, and so on. So I think that whole promoting of discussion of their learning and also their TPD opportunities is extremely important. So if we go to what we've got here, so digital TPD, one of the benefits, there are many, but obviously one of them is that it can be accessed on any digital device. Doesn't have to be a smartphone, doesn't have to be a computer, doesn't have to be a tablet. It can be any of those. And out of interest, please do tell us in the chat, do you have access to, which of these devices do you have access to? Are you speaking to us today on a smartphone? Are you joining us from your laptop? Do tell us in the chat which of these you have access to, because it's really interesting for us to find out. And why do we believe in digital TPD as an alternative to face-to-face? Oh, I'm getting some interesting information from you now. So we've got people on laptop and tablets, phone, laptop, smartphone. So, and are all these devices your own, or do they belong to your school or somebody you know? So this is interesting because we've got every digital device here today. So Benik is on his own smartphone. Gassem the same, he's on his laptop. So very interesting. Smartphone from Humra and Shivangi and Oyegoja. So everybody actually has got your own digital device. That's fantastic. And that supports what we think of Teach 2030, which is that most teachers in our community do have access to a device, which is great. So why do we think that digital TPD is, why do we believe in it as an alternative to face-to-face? And I think this supports what we just heard from our Teach 2030 teacher there, which is that TPD, teacher professional development, is not always as available to teachers as we would like. You know, regular and frequent TPD is invaluable for teachers to keep developing their performance, but for many there is a challenge of accessing face-to-face workshops and courses, and that can be the cost of travel to get to them, the cost of the TPD itself, the availability of suitable TPD opportunities, time away from classrooms. It might well be that you have access to some device, to some TPD, but it isn't actually the right TPD for you. It might be ways to improve your maths teaching, but you're an English teacher. It might be behaviour management strategies for secondary, but you're a primary school teacher, etc. Whereas digital TPD, you can at least have the opportunity to find a course that is absolutely suitable to you. Thank you. I've just noticed we've got lots of chat going on in the Facebook. So just quickly nipping back, Emmanuel saying that he discusses his practice. Emmanuel, I know, is one of our ambassadors. Great to see you here, Emmanuel. So working on how TPD strategies work in different curriculum settings, and then also some good information from our audience on the devices they're using. So again, we've got laptops, we've got smartphones, so it's interesting seeing that really all devices are used when accessing digital TPD, which is really interesting for us, so thank you. So what does digital TPD actually look like? So when I was putting together this course, I was thinking, right, this workshop, you know, if a teacher wishes to engage in digital TPD, what will they see? So it might be that you've got courses supporting foundational teaching skills, for example, Teach 2030, or subject or grade knowledge. They usually require creating an account to monitor progress, and they need an email address, which is something that teachers definitely have had challenges with in the past, which is why we have built our course helping teachers use their smartphones, so becoming a digital learner. So you are obviously all a very literate community here today because you're engaging with me and attending this workshop. Some of you on Zoom, some of you on Facebook Live, but it might be you have colleagues who are not so confident, so you could refer them to the Teach 2030 Become a Digital Learner course. Digital TPD provides opportunities to join forums and discuss pedagogy and classroom practice with other teachers. Absolutely, like we're doing now. You are engaging now in digital TPD, and through our Zoom conversation and the Facebook Live, I can see that our community is now engaging with each other. Digital TPD can be easier to access and to find content and material to support teachers than attending a face-to-face course. As we just discussed, it can be easier to find things that are relevant. They're often free or low cost. They can be completed individually or as part of a whole school approach with colleagues, blended learning approach, which is, I find, very helpful. So as we've looked at briefly, you might be looking at the content, working on it individually, but you come together to discuss it and how it can work in your classrooms. Digital TPD ensures that teachers keep learning at their own time and their own pace, and they have a more personalized experience and can result in higher engagement. So many strong messages as to why digital TPD is so powerful. I'm just going to show you here. I think many of you have seen this already, but just a reminder, just in case you haven't participated in Teach 2030. Actually, well, I can just ask you all, how many of you have done a digital TPD course, one of our courses, and can just tell us here? Because if lots of you have not, then I can show you our video. But if actually, I see many of your names I recognize, and I think you are already confident members of our community. Okay, yeah, okay, so Benik, I apologize if it's Benik or Benich. Oh, all your teachers, fantastic. Well, then I won't show the video today for how to engage in one of our courses, because I think that you sound like you are all confident at that. So I will move on from that. But if anybody would like, there will be a link to this video in the email that will be coming out as you post this workshop, and you can then share that email with other teachers, and this video will be in there to help them. If you know of somebody who would benefit from doing one of our courses, the link will be in there. Oh, it's already started. Sorry, I'm going to move on. Actually, do you know what? No, I won't show it. Couldn't decide there. There we go. So just briefly, more research and evidence as to why digital TPD is so important. As Voryakari states, so recently, 2018, online delivery of professional development can allow for reaching a greater number of teachers more rapidly and from anywhere, diversifying the design of traditional professional development courses in terms of duration, depths, and topics covered. Now, we obviously believe this strongly at Teach 2030. Most of the courses that you do were actually written by me, so I've spent a lot of time really thinking about how we create content that is interesting and relevant to the teachers in the specific areas that we wish to support. So we've been able to really personalize that learning experience for our teachers, and that's what digital TPD can do. It can provide a far more personalized experience. I'm looking at some of the comments. Okay, Gulbin, apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name perfectly there, but I'm so glad that you appreciate the code to help you access part 2 of the courses for free. It's very important to us to welcome as many teachers into our community as possible. So do share that code with fellow teachers so they can complete part 1 and part 2 and pass the assessment and gain a certificate. Rebecca, lovely, thank you. I know Rebecca. Rebecca and I have met in Kenya. So nice to see you, Rebecca. She's saying that she's done plenty of Teach 2030 courses and finds them very insightful. Fantastic. So, and Emmanuel, the flexibility of digital TPD makes it very effective. It sounds like we have some real converts here. Now, so I'm not sure how many of you are in leadership, but if you're not in leadership, please take these messages to your leadership team. I think we will all agree that school leadership should be providing regular TPD. That is obvious. I was a teacher for 20 years in the UK myself, and was very fortunate that I received regular TPD like every week. And I absolutely 100% helped shape me into the teacher that I then became. Digital TPD can be cheaper, easier to access, and more personalized than face-to-face options. There are certainly challenges with devices, with the cost of data, with connectivity, but many digital TPD providers, including Teach 2030, spend much time compressing all their courses down, so they use very little data. So that is a really important to know, like Teach 2030 courses only use 50 megabytes of data over the whole course. So it will not take a long time to do. Oh, and it won't cost much data to do, rather. Teachers may need support with digital access. Now I can see, I apologize if, I'm not sure if it's Benik or Benich, your name, I do apologize, who is in our Zoom call, but you are in leadership, which is fantastic. And you're saying that all the teachers in your school have also done the courses. Did you need to support any of your teachers with digital access, or did you find that they were already confident? I'd be very interested to know. Because, I mean, Rebecca, I know, could contribute here. So the schools that Rebecca support, there's some very solid leadership going on there. However, teachers have had challenges in creating their accounts, remembering their password, using the same email address, and so on. So even though the device is there, the data is there, the connectivity is there, teachers have needed support with the technical, with the digital skills. So it's important that leadership recognizes who might need support and what that support is going to need to look like. School leadership may need to carefully plan how to lead on digital TPD and the outcomes they would like to see. Our next workshop next month is going to look into how, as a leadership personnel yourself, or if you wish to support your leadership team, what do they need to have in place before embarking on asking teachers to engage with digital TPD, whether that's engaging individually or as part of a whole school program. So Benik says that the teachers used the internet that was provided at the school, but they still supported teachers to create their accounts. Absolutely, it is definitely still something that many teachers need support with. Okay, so we've come to the end of the introduction today, which was just really to review and refresh why CET, so the Commonwealth Education Trust, is so committed to providing digital teacher professional development, why we think leadership should be so focused on providing access to digital TPD, and hopefully encouraging you to review Teach 2030 courses and other digital TPD there is out there. And hopefully as well, we will see you next month when we look at how you can actually plan to integrate this into your teaching and into your schools. But before we go, have we got any further impact? So Oyegoja says, when delivered in a hybrid format, TPD can be quite impactful. Absolutely, that would also be, I think, what we would call blended learning. So some of the content is digital, but you discuss it with your colleagues or you try things in the classroom and so on. So you have the digital and the practical face-to-face engagement as well. And that, I think, is the ideal. That's absolutely the ideal. Oh, Emmanuel, Teach 2030 remains the top-notch and teacher development program. Thank you so much. That's fantastic to hear. If any of you would like your comments or your voice to be heard in our workshop next month on what you can do to plan ahead to integrate teacher professional development or digital TPD into your schools, we would love to hear from you. Please do send us your ideas, or on social media, send us a message. I know many of you have our email address. You can contact us on Facebook, through Instagram. We always love to hear from our community. This is one of those rare workshops today where your voice isn't actually presenting with us, but usually, as you know now, certainly Rebecca, who is with us today, Rebecca has presented 2 workshops with us, and hopefully we'll be doing some more. And we're very keen to have the voice of our community certainly overriding my voice and Alex's voice on most occasions. So does anybody have any further feedback? Otherwise, I will draw this to a close. Shubangi, thank you. Digital TPD helped to upgrade your skills. That's fantastic to hear. I hope that after our workshops, you think, oh, I'm going to go and see what else I can find to help advance my teaching. So we have a Q&A session next Wednesday, which will be led by Alex, who I know many of you know. This workshop will then be delivered the Wednesday after that, and then the Wednesday after that is the Q&A again. So the way we've been doing a lot of trial over the last year, trying to work out the best days, the best times to deliver our workshops. And what we're going to do now is that our workshops will be delivered approximately the 1st and the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and then we will have Q&As approximately the 2nd and the 4th Wednesdays of every month too. Keep an eye on the time. We are now running them at 3 p.m. UK time. So hopefully that that ties in with all of your timescales and works for you. Thank you so much, everybody. So nice to see you. I loved having everybody and your comments today. Stay in touch, and we look forward to seeing you. I don't think I've got any comments from anybody else. Gus, digital TPD created an opportunity for me to progress. Fantastic. Keep the learning going, everybody. We are very, very proud to have you all in our community, and have a great rest of day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.